Hello there, my name is Chris Palmer. In today's How to Write the Best URLs, Titles, and Meta Descriptions video, what I want to share with you is exactly how you can start writing the best URLs, titles, and meta descriptions for SEO as you go through 2022. So I don't want you wasting your time here. When you're implementing your SEO, these small fundamental factors need to be implemented. And one of the very first things that I see consistently is number one tip for URLs being that you're not writing your URLs how people are searching. Here's what I mean by this. So oftentimes what I'm going to find is there's going to be like www.website.com / Brooklyn / plumber in. Now, are people looking for New York, Brooklyn plumbers in New York? Maybe, but not as many as a plumber in New York or a New York plumber. So I'm utilizing a local example here, but what I'm trying to get at is you need to write your URLs how people are searching. Now, the same thing goes for affiliate sites or e-commerce sites. I know say if you're running on a Shopify account, you're going to have your website.com / collections / category, sometimes it says, and then it's going to have your product name. This is a massive disadvantage for e-com people that are utilizing Shopify because nobody's searching for a collection category and then your product name. You know, the optimal way or the best way is to, again, write your URLs how people are searching. So ideally, it's going to be website.com / maybe it's going to be blenders as your top level, and then it's going to be model number 441. So it's going to be models, KitchenAid 443 is the model number. My very first tip for writing your URLs for SEO is going to be making sure that your URL is written how people are searching. I'll give you a live example here. So if I'm going out on the web for backlink building services, okay, so backlink building services. So if the primary keyword or the keyword phrase is backlink building services, if I scroll on down for backlink building services and I click on it, I want you to take a look at my URL. My URL is chrispalmermarketing.com / primary keyword. I'm putting the keyword how people are searching. If we take a look up here at the URL bar, I'm not going to put in a placeholder like SEO services, even though it could make sense. I'm going to put backlink building services and take this from a top leader in our space, which is Backlinko, which recently sold his blog. And I utilize this example all the time. He has a blog. He's one of the most well-known, or used to be one of the most well-known in our space. If you take a look at his blog, right, all of his pages are on what I call a top-level category page. It's backlinko.com / he's known for that. It makes sense to house everything under the Backlinko blog. People are looking for Backlinko blog. So this makes sense. But as I'm coming down, he's talking about video marketing. He's talking about content marketing hubs. He's talking about how to rank on page 1. No matter which link you click on, let's just say it's video marketing, it's going to go backlinko.com / video marketing guide. So he's hitting two birds with one stone. He has the Backlinko blog, if we go back here, right? Because people are searching for Backlinko blog. He's making his URL how people are searching. And then if it's video marketing, if he wants to rank for video marketing guide, this is exactly how he's going to write his URL, how people are searching. Let's move into the next tip. So the next tip is going to be your titles. So some of the most important places to optimize your web pages are going to be your meta title, so the title of the page, your URL, and your H1. And then of course you want to get some details into your meta description for click-through, but we're going to talk about that in a moment here. But what I want to point out to you is your title of the page. The title should contain your primary keyword, the same keyword that you're putting inside of your URL. Let me go ahead and give you another demonstration of this. So if you take a look for, say, local citation services. So local citation services, and we scroll on down here to my website here. So my website, Chris Palmer Marketing, ranking right here, number 6 for local citation services. As you can see here, inside of the URL is local citation services, right? So as you can see, and then in my title, I put again, local citation services, Chris Palmer Marketing. So we want the URL to read how we want people searching. We want our title to read how people are searching, right? With the primary key phrase. I also put my brand name in there. But another way to do it to maximize your overall traffic is, if we take a look at this, I might have done it even inside of here. I have not, but I did have it inside of my meta description. As you can see here, I wrote local citation services, local citations service. So I did a variation. So let me go ahead and write this out using the same example. All right. So if we were to look at this, okay, I'll just share this with you here briefly. All right. Bear with me 1 second. All right. Let's just back this up. We'll back it up. We're going to go ahead and talk about website titles right now. Okay. And we're going to go ahead and just use my site as an example so I can explain this to you of how you can maximize traffic to your websites. Okay. So it's website.com. All right. So in this case, it's going to be my website, but how you can maximize overall traffic is by putting your primary keyword and the secondary keyword inside of there. So if we're using the same example, citation services, and then you could put one of these, one of these lines, or you could put a dash. It's completely up to you. Or you could just put a comma. So local citation services, and then you could put local citations service, and then you could put your brand name. All right. So this way you're tuned for both variations of the same keyword. It's not like you're going to be competing with yourself, but then you're able to maximize the visibility of your website because the title tag is one of the most important places. Let's see if I can go ahead and show you another example of this that's not on mine. Let's go back. Another well-known person inside of my space is Neil Patel. So let's just take a look here at the Neil Patel blog. So we're going to do a site : this is an advanced operator for searching websites to see pages that are indexed. This is just another tip for you. Site : Neil. So let's just see here. Oh, you probably have to spell it right. NEALNEIL.com. All right. So if we're taking a look at the Neil Patel blog, we're going to take a look at this one right here. Particular segment here is called the title tag. All right. So this is the title on the page. Now, if we take a look at this page right here, we see free backlink checker with historical and new and lost link data. So now let's go ahead and take a look at this page. This might actually be a bad example. So let's just take a look at this. Ahrefs. All right. This is a well-known tool. Again, we're just looking at this just for some understanding. So learn about Ahrefs crawler. So these are the title tags. SEMrush versus Moz, what the industry thinks. So let's go take a look at this page. Ahrefs versus Moz, what the industry thinks. So what I'm going to do is this is a tool called Marketing Syrup, SEO Pro Extension Marketing Syrup. It's completely free. So we can see that their title tag is Ahrefs versus SEMrush versus Moz, what the industry thinks. Now, if you take a look here, they're doing the same exact thing, SEMrush or Moz, so they're repeating the same keywords. Again, they're not doubling them up, which is what I was looking for, but you will see this a lot. Like if you search for, say, New York SEO, you can see, especially with these SEO companies, that what they're going to do is they're going to stick keywords that pretty much pop the same results. They're going to stick multiples in there. Why? To capture as much traffic and visibility as they possibly can. So we'll use this guy as a particular example, or gal as an example. If we take a look at their title tag, 59 characters, New York City SEO company, New York SEO services, and NYC SEO. Why would they stick 3 different phrases in there and then repeat them again in the meta description? The reason is to capture visibility. And then if you take a look here, some of the next most important areas on the page, which is going to be the H1 tag, you can see that they've doubled this up, but they've repeated the same keywords that were inside of usually the URL, right? So New York SEO company, they repeated them in the H1 and also in the title tag. Optimizing your title tags, and I'll do a recap at the end here of everything that I covered. Get your primary keyword in there, how people are searching, and put the variation along with your brand name or any other relevant terms. The same goes with your URL. Now let's talk about the meta description. Now there are some key pieces that are going to be essential for CTR. So click-through rate, CTR SEO, which is your click-through rate. But I want you to take a look here, just keeping this here. So backlink building services, or better yet, let's just do manipulation. When you take a look at this, I'm up here at the very top for the primary keyword, number 1 for click-through rate manipulation. So if you take a look here, I want you to see something that's in the meta description. The meta description inside of the search engine results page, or the SERP, is right underneath the title tag and the URL. So you can tell how important these 3 sections are because this is what's showcased inside of the SERP, the search engine results page, on Google and other search engines. So if you take a look here, we have our URL. It reads how people are searching, CTR manipulation, click-through rate manipulation. As you can see here, it's inside my URL, it's inside my title, and it, like I mentioned before, with the CTR manipulation and click-through rate manipulation are the same thing, and I double stacked them up, or I front-loaded the primary keyword. If you come down the list here, you can see CTR manipulation, click-through rate manipulation. My friend Craig Campbell has done the same exact thing. You know, this is what professionals do. This is how you get maximum visibility, but more so, I want you to pay close attention with your eyes to the meta description, this area here. Do you notice anything that jumps out at you? Look at click-through rate manipulation. Look at, they put it inside of brackets. Click-through rate with a dash. Click-through rate manipulation, CTR, right? What Google is doing is they're bolding out particular words. Something that I've noticed, maybe not in this SERP, but in a lot of other SERPs, like let's say we're looking for, I don't know, best blenders of 2022. Let's just take a look at a different type of SERP. As you can see here, there's a magnitude of different words that are being bolded to show how relevant the SERPs are. If you take a look at the word best, it's being cross put in with the word top. So it's being swapped is the word I'm looking for with the word top. So you should have the word top and the word best and the word blenders and the number 2022 inside of your meta description. You know, to have a more relevant meta description or a more relevant result, you would have a more rich meta description that reads well and is going to capture the user. So a massive tip that I would do for maximizing click-through rate is really take a look and analyze some of the ads, because these are companies or businesses or persons that are going to be spending and allocating dollars in order to capture your eyes and capture your click. They're willing to pay per click. So they've probably spent a lot of time optimizing to get the best meta description. So try to craft your own around what's being presented inside of the ads, what the top performers are doing, and also be very mindful when building and crafting your meta descriptions on what words are being bolded. The same thing with the meta descriptions. Just because the tools are recommending that you say title tag should only be 79 characters, or the meta description should only be 200 characters or 500 characters or whatever it is this week, does not mean that that's what is limited or what is being read. What I mean by this is craft your title tags as long as you want, as long as they're relevant, even if they're longer than what's recommended, because you can get more keywords in there and get more visibility. The same goes with the meta description. The meta description is there for a brief little snippet so viewers know or have an idea of what they're about to click on. After they see the title and they see the URL, they're looking at a brief description. Now, based on the searcher, okay, the intent of the searcher. So the intent of my search is the best blenders of 2022. Now, if I'm searching for the best cheap blenders, and I'm talking about cheap blenders and good blenders and top blenders and worst blenders on a page, you know, it might be worth your best interest to go ahead and write yourself one or two separate meta descriptions in the same section, even if it goes over the character count. And the reason is because Google chooses what meta description to use based on the searcher's intent. What I mean by this is very simple. If I'm searching for Chris Palmer marketing, all right, I want you to pay close attention to this. Or if I'm searching for marketing contact, let's just take a look at this. So here's my Chris Palmer contact page. Here's what's being displayed. And then if I scroll on down here, let me see here. Here, I'll show you this one. So it's going to be site Palmer, marketing.com. All right. So we can see the services, the coaching, consulting, SEO, contact. So here we go. Based on the user's intent, I want you to pay close attention to the contact. Take a look here. See what's being listed here? I'm searching for chrispalmermarketing.com, my website. This is number 9 is the contact result. See the meta description? Now, based on my intent, I'm searching for contact information. Take a look. Chris Palmer Marketing Contact. If you come here to the first result, look at the meta description. See how Google has decided and changed the meta description based on me, the user's intent? So they do the same thing for you and your websites. So in crafting your meta descriptions, make them a little bit longer with multiple intents in mind, and also keep the bolded words in mind. What I mean by this is when you have a search phrase, say it's SEO expert. What I mean by keeping the bolded words in mind, see how they're bolding up agency, Chris Palmer SEO, the word services, right? Professional and SEO. When you're crafting your multiple user descriptions, your meta descriptions, use as many of these bolded terms as you can. Extend the size of your meta description to fit multiple user intents because Google's going to show different meta descriptions based on the search. Keep this in the back of your mind. To quickly recap, starting with the URLs. All right, so your URL or the piece that's up at the top, make sure that you're writing your URLs as clean and concise as possible, but make sure that they're being written how people are searching. Tip number 2, the titles, the title tag. Make sure you're getting your front load your primary keyword, write your primary keyword. Then if you want to write descriptive words or a secondary variation of your keyword, make sure that you're getting that in there as well. Again, you can extend your title tag farther than what Yoast and these tools are recommending. You can get a lot of words in there. It's going to say, it's going to be a ... It's going to truncate, but that's irrelevant. Google is still reading it. The same thing goes with your meta descriptions. Based on users' intent of this search, Google's going to show different meta descriptions based on the user's intent. Also, keep your eyes on these bolded words. These are relevance words to show the most relevant. Also, they pop out. So if you have more bolds, this is going to grab the eye of the user. So be mindful of the words. Write your descriptions longer because Google's going to show, and be mindful of writing your descriptions to serve different users' intents. I hope that this particular tutorial regarding URLs, titles, and meta descriptions has been helpful. My name is Chris Palmer. If you need any help related to search engine optimization or anything at all, head on over to chrispalmermarketing.com. There's a easy link right here on the very homepage right here. Book a consultation. If you need more help, click on that. White label SEO services, you can go to services.chrispalmermarketing.com. Or if you just want to learn more or need a training program, go check out the SEOmastermind.org. In any case, it's been a pleasure. My name's Chris Palmer. If you have questions, ask in the section below. And I always look forward to seeing you in the next title tags, URLs, and meta descriptions video.